Yo, what's going on everyone? Guiding Light here, back with a quick first descendant guide. In this one, I'm going to show you guys how you can build the 3 best Freyna builds here in the first descendant. So the first one is going to be for bosses. The second one is going to be for long range. And then the third one is going to be if you like to run around and try to be as active as possible. So the first one is going to be for bosses. Now each boss will have a different damage output, whether it's fire or electricity, and so you want to set whatever mods are to that damage type. Now the boss I was going after had fire, so that's why I chose to do the fire mods. The same mods will be true for you, but you'll want to change it up for whatever element is on the boss. Now also keep in mind you can choose to level up these mods as well at the vendor, but it will cost more to equip them. So I find it's almost better not to level them up too much. That way you can still save some points for other mods, maybe just evenly distributed around. So as you can see, I've put mods on for fire resistance, also critical hit damage for when I do critical hits with my weapons and abilities. Now you have the skill power mod on, so that any skill I use, the power is going to be more a cooldown timer to make it come back faster. Also 12% to my range on my attacks. If you know anything about this character, they put out a toxic blast, and so this will increase the radius on it, make it so you can clear up more enemies or lock the boss down in a bigger radius. Also got more resistance perks on. You can do whatever element you need. So this build is great for bosses or long range attacks because you're able to stay back, but you can still use your abilities, the toxin abilities, because you can shoot them from a long range when you keep these mods on. Now another benefit to the heavy resistance between whatever boss you're going against or whatever element you want to use is that normally there's these heavy hitting attacks that would almost one hit you at any other time. But when you use these attacks and these defenses, you're actually able to tank most of these hits that would normally one hit you. This can be seen mostly during a fight like the Pyro, when he would throw out these chains. Normally I would get one hit by these on other characters, or if I didn't have these mods on. But as you can see, I'm able to actually stand straight in them and barely take almost any damage at all due to all the resistance. So you can use this on any boss or anything that has heavy elemental attacks, and you'll be able to stay at far range, use all of your abilities, and then also be able to tank a lot of the hits if you do get up close. So that's the first build. I'm going to go on to the second one now. So the next build will be for when you're just running your general missions. And I'll show you guys the best perks when you're just trying to run through missions or not doing bosses, but just want to do missions and be able to be as effective as possible. So you will have increased radius on your abilities. You're going to get extra health and shields using this. Any abilities you use will have an increased radius and increased damage. They'll also come back much faster. On top of that, if you do go up against any elites, your critical hit resistance will be higher and you'll get your skills back much quicker. So here's some quick gameplay of me on this class. It's actually really great for small spaces or when people are spawning into rooms. Any of the times that you have to defend an area, it's really great to have any of these perks on and to utilize these poison abilities to slow the enemies and to poison them over time. Now the final build that I'm going to show you, there's a third build that actually is sort of like using Bunny. If you've ever used Bunny, you can actually, as you can see, there's actually a Bunny on my team right now. There's those pulsating electric attacks, and as you run around, you actually can deal damage with those pulsing attacks. Now there's a similar ability on Freyna as well, and when you use it, it will increase your mobility speed so that you can actually run just as fast as Bunny. So if you want to use a class that's similar to Bunny, but you're already maxed out on Bunny, you want to finally switch to something else, or maybe you need to switch to a different element type, and you're really used to how Bunny operates, or you like the speed, this class, the third class, will definitely be for you. Now this second class is great for holding down these areas. It's more of like a defensive class really, or anytime that it tells you to lock down a zone. It's perfect for that because you can put the toxic pools right at the doors and it will slow the enemies down almost so much that they can almost not even get out and spawn a lot of the time. Now after this, guys, I'll show you the final class. This is the run and gun class. This class will actually be perfect if you're ever running one of the survival missions, or if you just really don't like to hold back, you like to be the person that's always running around dealing damage. This final build will require a special mod. This one right here is the one that I'm talking about. Now when you slot it into this, it will change your ability from being a throwable ability to an ability that actually just goes off as you're running around, just like on Bunny. Now, the reason this becomes so effective is it's definitely during the survival missions, if when you're trying to clear out the endless waves of enemies. Now, the reason this attack can be so beneficial is because you're able to run around just like you are on Bunny. When you activate this perk, it will, instead of throwing out all your toxin into one area, it will make it so that the toxin gets put out on your feet as you run around the map. Now, when you get used to how this works, you can run circles around the enemies and it will actually trap them in place, and so that they can't even really move at all. They'll just be surrounded by the poison. Now, another thing that I noticed is that when you finally do deal damage with this poison, it will increase your mobility and your running speeds. As you can see, I'm running just as fast almost as Bunny would be, and I'm doing just about the same amount of damage. Now, it doesn't have that pulsating wave where it'll go through walls and things like that, but once the enemies are in the toxins, it does slow them down, and it does do damage over time. So all three of these builds will be great throughout the game, just depends on the activities that you're running, which one you want to use. Now keep in mind, as you get closer to the end game or when you start running hard mode, these same builds will work, but that's the point in time where you will maybe want to start upgrading your mods and mod sockets so that you can apply maybe one or two more mods, and so that the mods are more effective overall. Now that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hopefully it helps you out. If you need help with anything else, let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.